What's up, guys? This is Xander Monge and Spencer Booth. This is the Deft Film podcast. Today we're going to be talking about what people want to learn. And when you want to learn something new, there's the disadvantages of not really knowing how to approach it and things like that. And there's the obvious advantages of like knowing more. Stuff that we've learned, new things that were kind of hard for us to learn, how we maximized our advantages and how we overcame the disadvantages.
Whenever I want to learn something new, I honestly just listen to a podcast about it or research it through YouTube or some other media outlet. I just find that's a very efficient way for me to learn. It's really informative, and I always make sure I find a topic that I'm interested about, and it's actually helped me to learn a bunch of stuff that I didn't know about before. Sort of interested in astrophysics just because I think how the universe works is really cool and like on a broad level. So I listen to podcasts by theoretical physicists all the time and stuff like that, and I just find that topic really interesting.
When you first wanted to gain interest in that topic, what difficulties did you have to overcome?
So I just found books or articles or podcasts explaining it at the most basic level, and then I would dive into more and more advanced stuff as I go on, and I'm still not even close to completely understanding what any of the actual articles mean, but I'm definitely learning a bunch as I go.
Basically, like level by level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess the question would be, how do you identify those levels? Like, if there's not a clear course anywhere, how do you identify what the levels would be?
I would just break it into parts. Like, if you're trying to learn something new that's really complex, just take it as you go. And if you don't understand what something's saying, research like or Google whatever you don't understand. And just as you go, like if you're reading something or listening to something you don't understand what it means at all, just like research that part. Like put the book down, pause the video, and just Google. And then until you get a good grasp of like what they're talking about, and then continue. And just as you keep hitting roadblocks, just keep like researching the details until you can find out
Exactly.
more.
I would say the way that I grew up making videos and how I grew up making short films and things like that, I didn't look up like how to make videos. I didn't look up like how to make a short film, how to make a travel vlog. I looked up specific things I wanted. So like the first video ever, and I think a lot of people's first video ever, is like I looked up how to clone myself, like how to make a video where I clone myself. And throughout that video, it's like people, I would be watching the video and they'd be like, all right, get the move tool. And I'm like, what's the move tool? And then I would like pause, Google that. And then like, now I know what that is. And then like next, keep going. They're like, oh, use this tool. And I'm like, okay, what's that? And like you keep hitting roadblocks, but because you gave yourself that first task and that first target of like cloning yourself or learning that first topic, you hit roadblocks and you learn from those. And that's way easier than like, say you're learning how to use like iMovie or something. Like it's way easier than typing in how to use iMovie. It's like, if you look up like how to do this in iMovie, then you'll see the tools that everyone uses in their everyday life to get that done. Do you ever want to learn something that like you're not really passionate about? I guess you feel a need to learn it to make things easier for yourself.
Yeah, it happens all the time in everyday life where I just need to learn something new. Like, for example, I'm learning how to upload podcasts or just like other skills.
How do you take an approach where it doesn't feel like, I guess, like the boring classes at school?
Yeah, that's definitely an issue when you're not actually interested in something. You need to learn the skills for it. I just set it as like, this isn't necessary for me to do in my mind. Like I just have to do this and get through it. And then I just look at the bright side and like, what will like be better once I learn that skill or learn the knowledge that I need to know.
In that situation, I look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I want to grow a bigger business. And to do that, there are some tedious tasks I have to do that I don't like doing. But I think it's accepting that it's part of the game and part of your major goal.
Yeah, you're not going to like everything you do in life. It's just life.
And if you're doing it with people that you like have fun with.
Yeah, it makes it way better.
There's learning what you want to do, like just because you want to do it or just because you want to learn it. And then there's something like when you're in a structured place like college. How do you pick like what you want to do when you're kind of thrown into a place? It's not really limited, but you kind of have a limited time to decide.
You definitely do. For a lot of majors, especially if you're in STEM or something, you have to decide your major pretty early on because there's just an incredible amount of courses you have to take to complete the major. And the scary part about college, at least, is there's so many different options where you can pick literally anything. It's like kind of the first time that you've been able to pick any classes you want, any major you want, just like focus all of your schoolwork on one subject. It's just really hard to pick. I don't even know what I want to do yet. That's also what I'm taking a year off for, to make sure that I don't accidentally go into a field that I completely hate. And second semester senior year, I'm like, wow, this sucks.
I think it would be like taking an approach where you know it's going to adjust later on.
Yeah, exactly. Just know that it's not set in stone. And also know that you're going to take classes that you absolutely hate, but you also just might love the subject so much. And just think about like the overall goal of just getting a degree and then, you know, figuring out what you want to do with your life.
There's always the option to like take a gap year or like, yeah, that helps you become more self-aware. Now, when you are learning, whether it's from the internet or it's from a class, how would you maximize the efficiency of it?
Well, I think it depends person by person. Everyone has different learning styles. You know, some people are visual learners, audio learners, hands-on learners, and it just depends on, you know, how you learn best. I just like to sit down and just learn as much as I can and do all my work.
It depends on the situation, but if you're in a situation where you're learning from a person, asking like every question you could possibly ask, and then I would say like somehow make it into an experience, like put it into action after.
Yeah.
If it's like a topic like astrophysics or something like that, seeing if you still remember what you learned afterwards, or like if you're learning like a skill, testing yourself, like trying it yourself, testing it out, seeing what you can improve on. Don't give up if you like don't know it right away, and testing yourself to see if you are learning rather than it being just entertainment. Testing yourself to confirm that you're actually learning a new skill.
Definitely.
What's the advantages of when you do learn a bunch of new things?
Being a well-rounded person, knowledge and just helps with everyday life in every single aspect. Helps around the house if you know how to cook and clean and do all that stuff, which you have to learn. Academic knowledge definitely helps if you're in if you're in a field where you need to learn stuff all the time. And just being knowledgeable about current events and what's happening in the world definitely helps out just the general population. Just makes you a better person, honestly, the more educated you are. From
there, you can meet more people who are like-minded. You can make more connections. Basically, it shows when you are well-rounded, even if you're like in a completely different workspace, it shows that you like know about different topics. Maybe you don't know everything about the topic, but it shows that you put the time into like make yourself knowledgeable. Knowing just like a bit about everything is definitely very helpful. Take advantages of the resources. You can use the internet to access things like books, classes, courses, live classes, video courses, PDFs, articles, things that you can engage with, files that a professional made, and then like you can kind of play around with that, things like that. Yeah, you have the entirety of basically the human brain online. Like you have everyone connected. It's incredible if you need to reach out to someone to learn something new or find any resources. So in conclusion, if you want to learn something, microtask it, and then while you're doing it, either take notes on what you don't know and you have to learn later, or just pause, learn it, go back into it until you finally finish that microtask and then go on to the next one. And like take your time or challenge yourself and give yourself a deadline. And definitely review afterwards to make sure you still maintain the knowledge. And then test yourself. And obviously we don't know everything, but I'm speaking on like the tactics I used to learn video, and Spencer's speaking on tactics he used to learn the things he knows now and like pick his major and like why he took a break and stuff like that. That's the other thing. There's always like the option to take a break to kind of choose what you want to learn. But yeah, we ran out of time. This is the Deft Film Podcast. My name is Xander. This is Spencer Booth. Thanks for watching.